Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of natural gas. So I had just done a video on this earlier today, but it did not include the, I think, pre-market trading on Monday, January 29th. And so we can see that it has dipped a little bit, but it is not going lower than last week's low, which was $2.10.7. So hopefully we don't see it going lower than that this week. Hopefully, this is the low when we start to see, hopefully we wake up in the morning and we see it much higher. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you like the videos and always share your thoughts in the comments down below. This channel is about sharing thoughts, and subscribe to it if you want to tune into weekly, bi-weekly really, streams doing Sundays, and there's a siren going on. Sundays and Thursday evenings. So I do that at 9 p.m. Eastern. So just taking requests, chatting, going over charts. And then I'm also going to be doing a closing the month stream this Wednesday, January 31st, doing the last hour of trading. So that should be fun. And yeah, it'll be nice to look at the, monthly candles and see, if we can get any bigger picture signals popping out of the charts, looking at the new January data. And I'll be hanging out after the bell, just having some fun. And these streams in the evenings are casual. So, cheers to us, cheers to retail. Hopefully, we're learning, improving our trading through streams, stuff like that. And yeah, so yeah, I'm going to switch over to the stock charts. I had Fisker pulled up. Somebody was chatting with me about, or posted a comment about. Let's see. I'm just going to adjust this so my image is lined up there with it. Somebody had posted that tomorrow there's supposed to be this Fisker event, and it's actually over the course of the week. They're hosting like a retail event. If you check out their website, they have a press release on it. But yeah, I had just done a video on Fisker, and let's see. I might actually go over to the daily list because there were a couple requests I got in the comments for me to do videos on. And one thing that's pretty cool that I'm going to try to do with these streams is take clips of the tickers that I do go over and then make videos out of those. And if those videos get 100 views or more, I will do regular videos on the tickers. And so I had the Rumble video that I had just put out, which was a clip from, I believe, it might have been Thursday's stream, or maybe it was it was Thursday's stream. That's at, I think, 86 views, so I might be doing a full-on video on Rumble soon. So that should be pretty cool. Yeah, which I guess, is right here. So this is on the weekly time frame. Should switch that over. This, makes me a little antsy when things run up like this. This big candle here, 36%. But if we take, let's see, a measurement from like the high here up to the top, it's almost, 100% move. It makes me a little antsy because I wouldn't want to talk about the stock when it's up here and then, somebody watching the channel buying up there and losing all their money. But what this does look like is it does look like it could be bullish consolidation here, forming a bull flag. And so this is, I'm still kind of, new to analyzing bull flags or bear flags, but I think this is like a little bit of an immature or premature bull flags. We just have, a few candles here. And so what we want to see is, when we get over to, 5, 6, 7 days, if it's still holding up, if it's like the lowest close here was $5.42, if it's able to maintain that and is able to consolidate here, that would suggest bullish consolidation and a move higher. And people have suggested that this might be going to $10 because I think that that's a requirement for them to raise capital. And so they, want to be able to do that. And so, yeah, I mean, going up to 10 from these levels, or if we're thinking about the low or the close here, 542, or maybe the low of that day, 525, going up to 10 is almost a 100% move, another one. So yeah, I mean, this could be pretty interesting, and at just $6 a share, easy to have fun with, nothing too crazy. And then yeah, I'll go over a couple tickers here that were requested, and then happy to take requests. And so one of the tickers that was requested is Cyngn, ticker symbol CYN, which has, let's see, gone up about 170%, 169, something around there percent over the past. Yeah, let's see. Actually, that's pretty crazy. From this is Monday, over the course of the past week, 150 over 150% in the week. But then there was a pullback, so really just like 113%, 14%. And so yeah, I mean, I think that this, to me, looks like this is a topping signal. You've got, I mean, I think this is like layers of topping signals, because, like on this day, you've got this gap. So maybe that gap needs to be filled. I think it'll be a while before it's filled, but that's at a price. The high of the day was 1262. So right around where that white line is. So that may be filled. And then what you start to see is, here you have what looks like this could be a topping tail, but then the next day you get a close above it. So that's bullish, suggesting that the topping tail is invalidated, could continue higher. And that's exactly what we saw. And so on this day, we did see, big move up, a little over 17.5% on the day, the 25th, Thursday. Not getting a close above that topping tail. But then we see the next day, Friday, being up almost 24% on the day, even though it's a red candle. It's up a lot from the prior day's close. But this to me looks like it's a topping signal, because you have like this spinning top candle, and the close, while it opened above the prior day's high, which was 27 cents. So on Friday, it opened at 27.26, but then closed at 26.61. And so that makes me think that there are just a bunch of sellers up here. Basically, yeah, I mean, you could think about it as, anybody that's, bought here, they're up. Like let's see. Yeah, just like from the middle of this red candle, I think that's a reasonable estimate. And then just going up 100%, less than that, like pretty much perfectly to the bottom of that candle, the close of the week. And so that makes me think that, if I had a position in this and I was up 100x, or sorry, not 100x, 2x, if I was up 100%, I would want to sell half my position. So then there's no risk of me losing money, and I can just hold what I've got. And so, this makes me think that because it really did like retrace to right around 100%, that that people are taking half of their position off or taking profits, and that's why it settled at this level. And so, yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean I don't think this could continue going higher, but I do think that this does suggest to me that a lot of that buying pressure is probably going to be gone, because if I had sold half of my position here, I'd just hold the rest of it, and I wouldn't worry about buying it, especially if I viewed this company as being successful in the long term. It's a long-term hold. Now it's like I can hold that position, however many shares, without having to buy any more, and just be happy with it. So I think that's, an interesting way to think about this. And if we do a Fibonacci retracement from, let's see, I could do it from the low here, which I'm just going to do it from this, basically over the course of the week. So I could, here, I might, this is interesting. I'm just going to do a Fibonacci retracement on the weekly candle. So just on one candle. Actually, now I'm going to do it on the daily time frame, because then you can actually see it. It might be kind of hidden otherwise. So Fibonacci retracement going from the low here at 11.8. Let's see if I can get that just right. There you go. And then up to the top of 31.49. Let's see. There we go. All right. So that went up, you know, this, 100% or 0% at the top. And then what are the retracement levels? One is 23.6 or the 236. It looks like we closed below that on Friday. And so I think that we might be seeing a pullback to either the 382 and see where that takes us. That would be right around 24 cents. But, I do see that level, even though there's not much volume traded, there is a little bit of a gap there. We don't see too much price action there. So I could see it actually pulling back 50% of the way to the, 21 cents, 21.65 cents or 22 cents, because we do see, the close just below that level, a good amount of price action there, consolidation here, the volume profile here, with overlap between these 2 days. And because really just like if it does pull back to this level, just below it, you don't have overlap in this region. You just have this wick coming up from this one day, the 25th. You got nothing on the 24th, nothing on the 26th. So that seems like, if it settles at this level, there's not much support there. So I would think that it would pull back to the 50% where we do see this consolidation, where we do have an overlap of 2 wicks there. Also quite possible it could pull back to the 618. However, just like the 382, we only see one candle or one wick, right here. And so I think that would actually be a pretty weak level. And so I would say that either a 50% retracement to 21.65 cents or a retracement to the 786, which would be right around 16 cents. Here, 16.01 cents. We do see this little lip here in the volume shelf, and that's because not only do we have the 2 tails of these candles here, we do have some overlap from the price action before that rally. But if we do take a step back, we do see all this price action, and so that makes me think, actually, the 382, that could serve as a shelf. So, I wouldn't want to, if I was to establish a position, which I don't plan on doing with this, I would, have a very small position at the 382 in case this volume shelf does hold up. But then if that doesn't, I wouldn't want to add until the 786 just because this just seems like too, volatile of a move. But, you could be seeing bounces on the way down. And, so, if it did pull back to the 382, I'd probably want to trim a lot of that if it went up to the 236. If it pulled down to the 50, trim at the next level up, stuff like that. This just seems pretty risky to me. But, it is interesting to see how it just runs up like that. And since I might make a clip out of this, I'm going to close this portion of the stream with, and those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. Yeah, so I might make a clip out of that. I think that will make the person who requested it, who said they're a new subscriber, I think that'll make them happy. And if there's an interest in that video, I'll do a follow-up one. But this, I guess I should look at the profile of the company. This is an autonomous vehicle, AV technology company that is focused on addressing industrial uses for autonomous vehicles. It develops autonomous driving software that can be deployed on multiple vehicle types in various environments. It is engaged in Enterprise Autonomy Suite, EAS, that controls advanced in-vehicle autonomous driving technology and incorporates supporting technologies like data analytics, asset tracking, fleet management, cloud, and connectivity. So it seems like a pretty interesting company. Let's see, the market cap is 14.18 million, so pretty small market cap. Not surprising to see this big move like that. But, like I said, I do see this topping tail here with a red day. Or a red, green day, but red price action. And then the other ticker, hey, what's up? How's it going, Vix? Happy to take a request. I was also going to go over this other one that was requested, JAG-X, which, in my opinion, is less intriguing than CYN because yeah, I feel like there's more going on with this, even though it does look like it's fading. JAG-X, it's just, I mean, maybe it's just because CYN doesn't have as much history. Let's see, it's going back to 2021, whereas JAG-X going back to, yeah, also, well, no, more history. Let's see, I'm going to do this on the monthly chart. Yeah, this goes back to 2015, so more history. This definitely seems like it's fading. I feel like a risky one. But yeah, I said I'd go over it. So my thoughts on this. Yeah, so Vix is asking, I just watched your PayPal video from a few days ago. Did you end up going over it after Friday's close? It seems Friday's close was pretty bullish, rebounded a little. Yeah, so I'll skip over to PayPal and then I'll come back to JAG-X. Yeah, so I'm really torn by it. I did put a video out yesterday on Saturday, so it does include the data from Friday, and I'm kind of on the fence with it. I was expecting to be more bullish because I wasn't paying too close attention to it during the week, but I know that it ran up and I know that it pulled back. But the level that it closed at makes me a little antsy. And so for me, it's like, I mean, if I was in it, I would wait to see what happens. But since I don't have a position in PayPal, I'm staying on the sidelines until I regain or gain some confidence in it. And so, like looking at it on the daily, let's see, yes, auto. Why is it? Let's see. Okay, there we go. I'm actually going to remove the volume profile. Yeah, so I mean, looking at it big picture, we got this, falling wedge. And so I was suggesting that we'd see a breakout, but then a retest and confirmation of the breakout. And I have these two levels identified. One being the orange one, that's the top of the wedge, and then the yellow one just being kind of like, recognizing, oh wow, it was support over here, seemed to be significant here as far as that gap goes. Again, as far as this gap goes, I mean, this just seemed like, wow, this line's popping out. There are a lot of odd things lining up with it, like these gaps and stuff. And yeah, this gap over here too, it's just like this is gap central. And so looking at the close, it closed, well, yes, above the top of the wedge, but it closed like exactly at that yellow downtrend. So, and it also closed bumping into that. It went higher than that and pulled back. So I'm wondering if that's a rejection below that trend line. I mean, you can look at this. Like, it's eerie. I think it's eerie, all of these touch points and stuff. That they just seem like so perfect. And so I feel like that's a significant level. I don't think it's one to be ignored. And with this coming from below, it makes me think it was rejected from that level. But, bullish things about it. Well, and also, I guess before I move on to the bullish stuff, with this red candle, that closed into the wedge. And, with the open below and the close above, we didn't get a bullish engulfing candle on Friday. Let's see. Actually, I think this is a good test of, I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure this is a valid thing, but like if this is bullish, it would close in the upper 50% of that candle. I see the comments. I will look at them in a second. And so this is, yeah, let's see. What is the, I don't know why I'm doing this measurement. So so I think maybe I just need to pull out a calculator. So pulling out a calculator on my phone. And so on this candle, it had a, let's see, high of 64.33 and a low of 58.9. And so that difference plus the low of 58.9, maybe there's a better way to calculate this, but I'm not too familiar with it. 64 0.33. So, I'm not looking at the chart. 64.33. We closed below that. So I think that's bearish. I think that's, because we closed below whatever number I just said. 64.33. We closed 61.78. That's on the bottom half of this candle. And it bumped into what looks like historically significant resistance, support and resistance. But, okay, I'll move on to the bullish stuff. Let's see, there's a retracement that I did. Yeah, so this retracement, it closed above not only the 50% retracement, but also the 382 retracement. Cleanly closed above both of those levels. So I think that's potentially bullish. Closed above this downtrend, the top of the wedge. If we do switch over to the weekly, and by the way, a lot of this, I'm pretty sure all of this that I'm talking about, other than that measurement that I just did, are in the PayPal video. But if we look at this on the weekly time frame, it looks like it pulled back and closed above that downtrend, it acting as support. These levels were drawn based on weekly candles. You can see the touch points correspond to either lows or highs or closes, or I guess this is an open. So, yeah, I mean, I think that this is 50-50. I've decided I'm steering clear of it because I don't know, but I'm leaning more towards the bearish side. Actually, no, I mean, I think in the video I was leaning more towards bullish. It's tough. I go back and forth with this, and that's why I'm avoiding it. But I think that this is closing on the lower half of this candle. I think that's bearish. I think that there's so many things that are subtle about this. Like I feel like you look at this and it's like, oh, it's green. It went up. It closed at this level. It closed above this one. It closed above these Fibonacci levels. It's like all of these like big picture things, these very obvious things seem bullish. On the weekly, it closed looking like it's at support. But then just this, comparison, I feel like that's just something that's, easily overlooked. And then bears take advantage of people who don't pay attention to that. But I don't know. I'm on the sidelines. So I'm just gonna continue down the list of comments. I'll progress through them. Jay says one that I was looking at is UTSL, high risk play, triple leveraged utility. Tell me what you think. I will do that. UTSL. Yeah. So for me, I'm just in the book review that I did. There's a part about margin of error and just like risk management and stuff. And I think like leverage is, potentially really dangerous. So I think it's probably better to look at, utility stock that isn't leveraged to get a better idea of it. This is on the daily. I did that downtrend there. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's like a channel here. I wonder if I tried drawing this before. But yeah, if I just do like a parallel channel from like high over here, and like the lows over here. That makes me think that it is in this downtrending channel. And I wish that one of the things I don't like about charting in Webull, which I may, be switching over to charting in TradingView. Once the channel gets monetized, I might use the whatever small amount of money the channel makes to getting a subscription to TradingView. But yeah, just looking at this channel, it's been bouncing around there. While it has broken down below it a few times, and broken above it a few times, it does look like it just recently got rejected. This is on the weekly time frame, by the way. So let's see how this looks on the daily. And yeah, I mean, and because like even, I could send, I'm less compelled by that. I think that this is nice with all these touch points in there. But that does look like, I don't know, let's see, like that, the 50, like the halfway mark is in this channel, but maybe it's bouncing around that level as support. So I could see it testing the top of this, but Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to go to the bottom of the channel again. Oops, what am I doing? Um, so yeah, and then yeah, and let's is there anything in history that stands out as potentially being support where it's at? Man, I zoomed out way too much. Um, see, yeah, I mean, there's, maybe some support over here. It's bouncing off that. Or, yeah, I mean, looks like there's some support around there, so I could see it going up to test the top of the channel. Maybe it breaks out. If it does break out, you want to wait for confirmation because, like, look at what happened here, and I think this is a good example with PayPal that we just went over. It did break out here, and this is on the weekly time frame. You did get a test here, and it did bounce, look strong, but then you get a double top, and then on the pullback, red candle here, closing like at that level. And then the next week, it just continues down. So, like, you want to have a clean break. And this one hasn't had it. So I think that this could be going up to like 21 bucks or so, but I could be getting rejected. So I think this is one to be careful with, especially with the 3x leverage. Um, and then Vix writes, hopefully we see some momentum come back after earnings coming up. I imagine you're talking about PayPal. Yeah, so I'll switch back to PayPal. Um, and yeah, I've got it in here, I think. Yep. Yeah, and I should have the corporate actions, the earnings and stuff marked on the chart. This is the weekly though, so we can't see it, but there we go. But yeah, this makes me feel like, yeah, I mean, I'm teetering. I think I used the graphic of a bear and a bull on a seesaw. I don't know. And so it's quite possible that, it just resides around these levels before earnings. Um, and yeah, so I mean, I just want to watch it. But yeah, I think around earnings, if it's not volatile either to the upside or downside before earnings, it definitely will be leading up after earnings. And so it'll be really interesting to be paying attention to where this is. And so like I'll probably I don't know that I think yesterday's video will hit 100 views, so I'll do another one next Saturday. Um, but I might have to do another one before earnings because yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting one, but I'm glad I'm on the sidelines with it. And then, okay, so Nameless asks, you still going all in on SOXS? So, like, for me, all in is pretty small order. But yeah, let's see. I mean, because I don't know. Like, I mean, I think that the market could keep going up. I could think it could hit 5,000. So I don't want to go like all in, but I think I have here. I can tell you this is like kind of. It's just because I have most of my money in other positions, and I just don't want to keep. I did add a little bit to my account on Friday, but I just don't want to add too much because it's a slippery slope. Um, but yeah, let's see here. Um, for SOXS, and I'll actually put it on the SOX chart while I do this. This is on the daily. Um, you see, this is why I think it's doing 200% move up to here. Okay, and so for SOXS, I think I bought another share on Friday maybe. I have 4 shares, so pretty pathetic. I've been adding more heavily because I started initially shorting the market by buying SH, which is short S&P, not leveraged. And so in easing into that position, I then learned about SQQQ, which is 3x leveraged. Started adding to that. And then I think from you, Nameless, I learned about SOXS, and that's also 3x leveraged. And then I started building into that. Four shares, so pretty lame. I haven't, you're going to make fun of me. I have an order for 10 more at $4.99. And the price is just above there, so I expect that to be filled. My average price currently is $5.39, and so with 10 shares, this is something that I kind of want to be able to hold and forget about it and let it go up 200%. go too heavy, I'm going to want to pull out if it, gets to resistance up here. With this consolidation here, like if we put up the volume profile, yeah, there's a bunch of resistance here from that. Um, and yeah, so I mean, it'd be nice to just chill. Um, and yeah, I mean, thinking about, oh yeah, and so this is like, I think really related to the and if you guys want to see this, I can scroll to it on Twitter. I need to actually bookmark it because I might make a video on SOXS next week, um, and refer to this. But it's basically like, the market is getting to an all-time high. Here's the SPX SPY, and where yeah, I mean it's at an all-time high, and I think that it might go higher. It could go to 5,000. That would be like a goal for me. I'd be really proud, if I was, long it. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it's broken 5,000. The news, and then people start FOMOing into it because it's just going to keep going higher, and then they get rug pulled, just like what happened over here, 2 years down, and a lot of this, I think it's probably better in the, not SQQQs, but the QQQ, the NASDAQ. A lot of this movement up is because of tech, specifically, I believe, semiconductors. And so I'm actually going to pull up the chart, the tweet on Twitter or X, whatever. Let's see. And so I'm going to have to scroll to it, so please excuse that. I need to... Oh, and by the way, Gassino liked my tweet of a video that I did on the natural gas video that I just put out today, which is pretty cool because Gassino seems like a pretty awesome person. They're just very optimistic and have fun with the market. Let's see. Oh, yes, this. I need to bookmark this. Okay, yeah, so this person's saying the S&P 500 just closed at record levels. This is on the 19th, so not this past Friday, but the Friday before. Yet only 1 out of 11 sectors made new highs today. Technology. The disconnect becomes more evident when considering the 5-year performance across different sectors. This is the tech bubble 2.0, and I feel like a lot of this movement up is because of semiconductors, based on the fact that if we look at the SQQQ, this is 3x leveraged, and this move to this peak here is like a 100% move. But if we look at SOXS, that move is 200%. So I think that this is like, if the market's going to go down, semiconductors, technology is going to go down disproportionately more than the broader, stock market, because, the rest, they're chilling out. They're not doing anything crazy. They're just hanging out down here. So if there is a big correction, if there is a big pullback, that could be all tech plummeting. And that's going to be seen in the semiconductors. So if that comes down, I think that SOXS is going to be going up. And so I'm really intrigued by this potential 200% move. And if we look at the volume profile, let's see. Is it going to bump into, where is it going to bump into resistance? Maybe it bump into resistance here. So maybe that's probably like a 100% move or close to a 100% move. So yeah, this seems good to me. But on that note, this could continue going higher, going up to 5,000. So I want to be able to really load the boat if it goes higher, because I feel like I always get in too early. And just like, in the book review that I went over, the chapter on, having a margin of error, with it being at all-time highs, I want to be adding to my position now, but I want to really be able to add if it goes up here. That's my margin of error. Because if I go in too heavy now, I can't add when it's up here. And 14 shares total, that's nothing crazy. I can add to that and really get my average down low. And that could be, a pretty notable difference in this because it is 3x leverage. So just like, let's see. Yes, this just went up a little bit, but from let's see this low coming down. This is, I'll just do it from the bottom here. That is like a 20% move down. Whereas if we look at the SH coming from the bottom there, and the reason, and this is it's structured the same, the SOXS with the SPY and the NASDAQ, that's a, 2% move. So not only is it 3x leverage, so that would make the 2% move really a 6% move, but it's also disproportionately weighted because it's technology. So yeah, I'm just really, really compelled by SOXS. I was actually talking on the phone with my brother yesterday, I think, and he follows the market a little bit, but not that much. But I was going on about SOXS, just kind of joking about it. Yeah, being a nerd. And so yeah, and then Sunlighty says Fisker Recover closed Friday up 6%. If this is this a reverse up trend? So let's see. Oops. Alphabet skills, man. Is this a reverse uptrend? So, I think that, yeah, I mean, let's see. What was the high? Yeah, I mean, there are too many things for me to pack into those videos. I like the ones I made over this weekend were kind of long, so I don't know if that's good or if I put too much into them. But if we look at the high from Thursday, the 25th, that high is 80.1 cents. So I'm not even going to look. Was the close on Friday higher than that? Yeah, it was. And so that suggests that actually, let's see. No, I'm sorry, I'm a jackass. So yeah, I mean, I was thinking that this would be like a reversal. Like if that's a topping tail or something, this would negate that reversal to the downside, but this is at the bottom here. So that would make me think, yeah, it's a continuation higher. And they also have got retail stuff going on. They're hosting an event. I'm not exactly retail something or no. I forget. I could look up the press release on their website. But yeah, I mean, I think that this could be a reversal signal. I do think that this is like spinning top. You got these wicks down here. If you'd see, let's say hypothetically, this was like a really big wick down. It's not. But if this wick here was coming down a lot, that would be like, oh, that's a bottoming tail. It's going to start going up unless you get a close below that wick. And so we didn't get a close below that wick. We got a close higher, actually higher than Thursday's, or sorry, not Thursday. This is weekly. The prior week's close. And so that to me suggests that, yeah, I mean, also you look at the size of these candles. It's just they're incrementally getting smaller. Well, the percentage move on this week was about the same as these other ones. They're all about the same percentage, but the size of them is getting smaller. In this one, let's see, the percentage down is, for this week, is actually up because, yeah, it closed higher than the prior week. So, I definitely think that there's a reversal coming for this. Might it go lower than, let's see, where's that purple line? I got this, 74.5 cents. Might it go lower than that? Might it go lower than 72.55? Yeah, but it just does make me think, yeah, and also maybe this is like a double bottom a little bit, kind of slanted. But yeah, I could see this coming back to test $1. And if we get a close above $1, even if it's just one day, I think it's a good thing. I believe this is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, so I got to look up the rules. I meant to do it before I made the video, but I got to look up the listing rules for the New York Stock Exchange because I know with the NASDAQ what those rules are as far as the dollar goes. I assume New York Stock Exchange is similar. So more money is just being very direct. Where will Fisker's stock price be in 1 week? Um, I think I'm gonna consult Max Payne. I think it's gonna be at 99 cents. um, I think it's gonna go up. I think it's gonna have another attempt at one. I think it's gonna have another move like this one that's designed to create bag holders above one. And even yeah, I mean it's just this is like a very like just thinking about this from like a psychological level, it's like, oh my God, it's gonna go above one. It's gonna keep going, and then it pulls back, and then it's like, oh man, I'm a bag holder. That sucks. I bought up here, and then it starts above one, and then it's like, oh, I was wrong. It's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going higher. But then it pulls back. Not only does it pull back and close below one again, it creates a bearish engulfing candle. That's pretty massive. That's a pretty impressive uh, return or drawback. Uh, yeah, so I just think that this is like a oh like or maybe like your buddy like hears about it. It's like, oh man, I missed it going up to one, and then it pulls back. It's like now it's your chance. And then it starts up at one. Whew, I'm so glad I established that, and then it pulls back, and you're screwed. So I think that there's going to be another move above one this week, but I think it'll probably close the week below one. I think 99 cents is my bet. Um, because it's Max Payne, and that's Max Payne for retail too. Because I imagine most retail wants this to go up, whereas market makers and those who benefit from the options contracts, the fees and all of that, and them expiring more out of the money, I think that they'll benefit more from it being below $1. And also, yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if there will even be a daily close above $1, just because that's a pretty significant level to be closing above, especially if it's NASDAQ listed. I'm not sure about the rules for New York Stock Exchange. Um, and so earnings is Tuesday. And so earnings for what? For SOXS? Um, is there earnings for SOXS? Yeah, and like the main reason why I think that Fisker will be below $1 at the close of next week is because I think that retail just like put your money on retail getting screwed over. And I think that it going up to around one makes sense, but I don't think it's going to close above it because I think retail is going to get screwed over. Um, yeah, nameless. I don't know what you mean. Earnings is Tuesday for which stock? Um, yeah, I'm gonna go on to yeah. Something like may go up to one. Yeah, yeah. So that's. I think it'll go up to one during the week. Um, and actually, I sell covered calls. I don't think it's gonna close at 150, so I'm gonna sell a covered call with that strike. But I mean, I wasn't even planning on investing in Fisker until I started making videos. Um, and so I'm going to sell two covered calls, one with a strike of one, which I might give up those shares, but my average is lower than $1. So it's like no big deal. And then um, the one that will have a strike at 150, I don't think it's going to close above 150. And if it does, then it's like, I made more than 50 bucks on that. So I would make more than 50 bucks on that. So I'd be happy with that. Even though I'd rather hold my Fisker position for longer than next week. Um, Got to take profits, and so that's kind of why I like selling covered calls because it forces me to it closed in the money. I got to let those shares go and take my profits, and if it pulls back, I'll add back. Um, yes, and you're welcome. More money. And AMD. Oh, AMD. They've got earnings this week. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Well, what happened here? I had to click on it. Yeah, earnings on Tuesday. Yep, yep, cool. Um, yeah, what do I see happening with this? I wonder, what can I pull out of this? Like um, what do I see in this that's gonna make me go one way or the other? Um, I think if there's divergence, I think that will make me go one way or the other. So here we got a higher high. I'm not paying attention to this or like noticing, but here, I guess, yeah, man, to be fair, I mean, I could do any one of these because those are all lower highs in the price. If I look at the RSI, so like right here, slightly different candle, but it's still the same thing. This is a little bit lower, not much. So this is weak bearish divergence, I'd say. There's a little bit of a slope to this because like the high here in the RSI is 82.10. And the high over here is 77.82. Also, I mean, it's overbought. I wonder, and yeah, I mean, look at this on the weekly. On the weekly, that's a topping signal for sure. Um, yeah, because sellers are stepping in here. This is, I think this is an evening star. It might be an evening star, or maybe evening star doesn't have such a big wicks, or maybe a smaller body. But yeah, this is a reversal signal on the weekly, and you could think of this as a topping tail. Also, yeah, I mean, maybe this is a topping tail. This is all-time highs for the stock, right? It's never been this high before. Yeah, definitely all-time highs. That's crazy. Yeah, so I'm looking at this on the daily. So yeah, I mean, on the daily on Wednesday, just factoring in that, this is all-time highs. This is not a huge topping tail, or I really should say topping wick. Just topping tail is that alliteration. It sounds better. But this wick up suggests that there's going to be a reversal, and that would be negated. That reversal signal would be negated if price closed above it. And so the high on this day was 180.58. What was the close here? The close here was 180.33, lower than this. So that reversal signal is still in play. And yeah, I mean, we would need to see. This to me seems very clear. This is going to tank following earnings. And yeah, I mean, the profile global semiconductor. Maybe I am going to go heavy in SOXS this week because SOX, yeah. Man, Nameless, thank you so much. This is, I shouldn't do it because I feel like it's degenerate. But yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, as I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, I want to buy puts on AMD before earnings because I think it's going to go down. But let's look at the options table. So let's see. There's this big, like reasonably close to where we're at, There's this volume shelf down here to a price of like 150. So let's say I buy a put for next week or maybe 2 weeks out. That's at 150 or maybe just 150. So if I look at the options, I'm just going to limit it to puts. And I'm going to do it for 2 weeks out with a strike of 150. The ask is $100. So I could put $100 on this. And if in 2 weeks it expires or doesn't go down, if it expires out of the money, I lose all that $100. But if I load the boat on, and I'm like, for me loading, I have a small boat. If I, I think this is definitely going down, and I think that the smart way to short or go short on AMD is to not do it in options because I tend to lose money in that because I don't have enough money to buy longer term contracts, so I have some safety there. I think it's rather than put $100 on a put on AMD that goes 2 weeks out to 150, which I do think it could be returning to this level. Look, you got these two two little bumps there. That's going to be support on the way down. That's why you got this volume shelf coming out. And then especially coming down to this level where you have this consolidation here, that support over there. Yeah, so I think that maybe giving myself a late birthday present and adding $100 to my account to buy some SOXS this week. I'll first see if my order for 10 goes in, and buying 10 at $4.99, that's already like $50. So, yeah, I don't want to go too heavy in case I'm wrong. You got to have that, room for error like that chapter. But yeah, I am yeah, it's just so compelling. It's just so compelling. This is going to tank following earnings, and SOXS is the way to short it for sure. Man, dang it. I need excuses to not add money to my account. Yeah, so I am not going long AMD. Actually, and what's I was thinking, what's Nvidia, like what's their chart look like? What's their stuff? But I won't do that. Um, yeah, yeah. So Sunlighty, yeah. So I mean, I've been selling covered calls as far as Fisker goes with a strike because I have just over 200 shares. I don't have that much. I just started establishing a position recently viewed. I want to go to DGen Ed. Fisker right here. Yeah, so I mean, this, like, I could have made more money on the covered call because I just sold the covered call right at open. But if I would have waited, 5 minutes, yeah, let's look at this. Well, no, I don't need to spend more time on this. But if I would have waited, I would have made more money selling the covered call. But it's just nice, I make a little bit of money and I still have my shares, so it's no big deal. Um, but yeah, I don't think market makers want those orders to be filled, so I think it's going to be held down below $1. And then let's see. Quodo team. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Please review WNW and PYXS. Ooh, that's a good idea, Sonny. Sunlighty. Um, he says, for keeping Fisker shares, I will sell a covered call at 150 when Fisker nears $1. And so then you get a higher premium, and there's pretty much, I mean, there's some risk, but at pretty low risk, it's going to close at $1.50. So that's actually a really smart approach. Yeah, so for me, I just like very passively do covered calls because I'm at work when the market opens, so I can't be eyeing what's going on with the price. And then I don't get the options data until 15 minutes after market opens. So, so yeah, it's always just tough for me to be paying attention to that. So what I might do is set an order, yeah, before open, but just anticipating the the price to go up, the premium to go up. So nice. Yeah. So I was collecting like I think $1. So 1 cent per contract. 100 shares is $1. Uh, Son's saying that he got $5. So that's 5 times what I was getting. So that's a good idea. So yeah, I'll probably adjust. I haven't placed the orders, but I have a little spreadsheet. I keep track of all of that stuff. So I'm gonna adjust my plan before I go into work tomorrow. Yeah, so there are a bunch of comments, so I gotta slow down, or speed up. I mean, WNW, Mue Technology. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Uh, Maiwu Technology Company. This is online mobile commerce business. So for this, and I might try to go through this a little quickly because I got a lot of comments. Excuse me, need to catch up on. Um, so yeah, I mean The concerning thing about this is the big wick at the top, almost $1 going up. See on the weekly, I think that this will continue going higher, but I think that it might hit the top during next week just because, I mean, it's like for this week, you do see that big wick at the top. It did pull back, but it continued. So this is, up 40, almost 46% over that week. This week, up 100%. RSI is above 70, 74 almost. And then, looking at how volume's been in the past, volume could go much higher. So, yeah, I could see this going to, this is like 1030. This might sound crazy, but I could see this going to, let's see, low over here, 18. That's where it really starts to get into resistance. This low, which is 1839, so I guess I got that a little high, right around there. Yeah, so I could see this continuing higher, but I could see there being a violent pullback, which might happen next week. But I do think that it could continue higher the first half of the week. So I'd be very careful with this one because, yeah, I mean, before, like a couple weeks ago, it was at 250. So this one is one to be very careful with. But just like looking at comparing with the last week's candle, there's not really a reversal signal other than this wick at the top. We had that last week, continued higher. So yeah, good luck with that one. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing really stopping it up until like $18, I think. Okay, I gotta catch up on these comments. PYXS. Okay, I'll do that one really quick. PYXS. Oh man, this is another one. How much did this go up? 69.5% over the course of the week. What's the daily look like? Yeah, so this is like a bull flag, it looks like. I think that this one, like the one I just went over, WNW, I think this one could continue higher still. But let's see, what's that wick doing? It was like here. It's a little bit higher than that. I think it's trouble. Yeah, so. That's right about the top there. Yeah, so that's potentially at resistance. So I think this one's less likely to keep going. There's still a fair amount of volume above it. Or some volume. Yeah, I mean, because there's history of it like this. Yeah, and then maybe it's like this is a shoulder, this is the start of a head. And so maybe we could see a pullback down to 270. And then you get a right shoulder formed and an inverse head and shoulders. And then maybe that could really pop. And it seems like that's kind of what happened here with... this might be a little... I'll just do it from like... Yeah, that doesn't work. Anyways, yeah, I think this one's more risky than the other one. And I need to put these on the Degen Ed list just so I know I looked at them before. Okay, and then and so what's your take on Lucid? So I actually did a pretty, like, it's a long video. I think it's like 15 minutes long on Polestar and Lucid that came out on yesterday. I did divide it into chapters. I think Lucid's the second half of it. So you could watch just the second half of it, but really my perspective on Lucid is based on what Polestar did. And so I think that it's quite possible that Lucid's putting in a double bottom, or has put in a double bottom. This is, yeah, the daily. And, that's largely because I was drawing a lot of comparisons between Polestar and Lucid with like the red level that's here. I think for Polestar it's $2. And, both of them tanked below that. Both of them are in like, the wedges are not the exact same, but both are falling wedges. And it does look like it, bounced. It did break through the bottom, but it is, testing that. It's testing a lot. So I do think that this could go higher. And I do think that if I look over at the max pain, I think that might give some clues too. And, been switching over to the weekly to point out that, oh man, I want to keep that above Ed's head, but not much higher than his head. Let's see. Yeah, so the bottom of this is based on, the low of this week here. And then, the low of this week here. So that bottom is based on the weekly candle. So I don't think that you need to get too worked up about daily closes below it. And so I do think that this is testing the bottom of it. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens over the course of next week. Hopefully we don't see a lower close, we did see a weekly close that's lower. So that's not so good. But this is a inverted candle at the bottom here that inverted hammer that suggests a reversal. So yeah, this is kind of a conflicting one as well. I'm leaning more towards it. I feel like it's going to, if not hang out around these levels next week, I think that we're going to start to see it run. I think it's going to break above 3 and close above 3 without pulling back the following day. That's a bearish engulfing candle. It's pretty crazy. So if I look at the max pain for this and look at it like a few weeks out, so I'm just going to start with this coming week. I think it's 250. Yeah, so that's lower than current price, so that's not so good. And the fall, oops, I don't need to type that again. Oops. Hopefully that worked. 3. So it's gone up. And so that makes me feel like it's quite possible this week closes above the max pain of 2.5 and price starts to go higher. And so if we look at the 16th, again, 3. And if we look at, but of course, price could be closing below these max pains. Here, 3 again. So yeah, I think that Lucid's going to go higher. And as it goes higher, I think those max pains are going to get pushed higher. And I think that we could be seeing a revisit to 4. And to be honest, I think I have just over 100 shares of Lucid. And I usually, go for kind of the nearest level that's above my average to sell a covered call just to make sure it gets filled. I don't have to worry about it or look at it when I'm at work, I'm not going to sell a covered call at $3 for this one, maybe $3.50, because I don't want to get rid of my shares at $3 if it does close the week above $3, which I think is quite possible. I don't think it's going to close the week above $3.50, not this week, but maybe next week or the week after. So I think Lucid's at the bottom. You got bottoming signal, double bottom. You got all of these wicks down, these tails down. None of them, the lowest close was, let's see, on the 18th, which was 265. I guess that's the same as this one, so meh. But we haven't seen a lower close. The RSI is 28.52. Let's see, higher lows on both, so there's no divergence there. Yeah, I think this is going higher. I think it's going to go up to 4 in the next few weeks. But I could be wrong. Let's see. I got the note on selling the covered calls of Fisker to strike a 1.5. So I'm probably going to do that tomorrow. Rum Moas. The Joker's Roaring Kitty. Man, you're relentless. I'm probably going to do a video on Rumble. Sorry if I didn't respond mentioning this to your comment, but that video is getting close to 100 views, so I'll probably be doing like a dedicated Rumble video soon. And I don't know if Rumble's on the list here. I've got it over on the daily. Yeah, Rumble. I started this stream kind of going over Rumble, and yeah, I don't know, like MOAS. I think that can be interpreted in so many different ways. Um, and so I think that what you see is, yeah, I mean, I think I went over this pretty. I was thinking, yeah, I don't know. I forget what I went over at the beginning of this video. Um, but yeah, I mean, this just looks like it's bullish consolidation, but it looks like it's like a little premature. I'm not really sure. I'm not the best at identifying, whether a flag is bullish or bearish. Something I'm still working on. But, you don't see any closes below this level. Like, so the lowest close here, 542. And yeah, I mean, I think if we look at this on the weekly, quite a pullback there. But I think that's bullish consolidation. I think it's going to go higher. You were suggesting that they want this to be above 10. And yeah, I mean, there's so much manipulation going on. I could see like if they want it to be above 10, then yeah, I mean, let's look at the volume profile. It's going to be tough to get to 10. That's a psychological level, and B, got this volume shelf here, all of this consolidation. That really tops out. Yeah, I mean, it's right around 10. So I could see it getting to 10, but I think it'll have a tough time, having a lot of closes above 10. But yeah, I'll probably be doing a follow-up video on this in the next week, I imagine. I have some other videos that I'm kind of on the back burner that I need to put out before I would get to this. But yeah, I'm intrigued by this. And I think that a pullback, like a wick down, a tail down to 497 to fill this little gap there. That could be like a really great buying opportunity. So I feel like $5, yeah, that could be a great opportunity to add to this. I do think this will go higher, but there's also so much risk with that it comes back here to this gap. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that much. I mean, other than Rumble being like kind of counter to YouTube and yeah, being another platform for it. I think it's great, but I don't know too much about the stock and really the company. I don't have Rumble. I'm not that familiar with it. But let's see. It is, there are these lows here that it did bump into resistance there, so that does make sense that there would be a pullback and then consolidation. Look, I wasn't even trying to do that, but that's consolidating above this volume shelf. And so yeah, I think that's bullish consolidation. I think that by the end of the week, I think that it might be, crossing 7 off and going up higher. So I definitely think it could squeeze. But I don't know that it'd be a MOAS. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to a couple of these that I just looked at. I'm just going to do up here. So Quodwo is saying, you bought this at $4.28. Well, congrats, man. If I was you, and I feel like I tend to be a little conservative, I'd take half my position out, so I'd not only secure back the money that I put into it, but also take some profits, and then I'd let the rest run. Forget about it. If you believe in this company long term, then you can forget about having to ever look at it again. You just got a lot of money in it. But then if you take out what you put in, and then PYXS. He's just bragging to all of us at 235. So yeah, this one's almost at 100%. I do think this will continue higher. So if it does hit that 100% level, you take half your position off, you just let the rest run, you're safe. Yes, nice work. Congrats. Thanks for sharing. Are you one of the better investment Oh, thank you. I mean, I'm pretty new at making videos like this. What are your favorite YouTube channels, and where did you get inspiration to do the channel? Yeah, so I feel like inspiration for the channel is kind of like just been fumbling on YouTube, and then like a personal story, which I can share. And then the YouTube channels that I follow, like uh, Trey's Trades really got me into, I don't know, believing in AMC, and just like, I don't know, believing in all this corruption in the market and stuff. And I just think he's a really good, like, technical analyst. I liked his videos a lot. But I feel like, whether, people call him a shill, or people, I feel like he got too big. And I feel like with YouTube, people get, fly too close to the sun. I don't know why that's hard to say. And yeah, so I feel like that's what happened with him. I used to follow Zip Trader, but then I just get tired when AMC, or when a stock drops a lot, like to a new low. I think it's pretty lame when YouTubers, or big figures, um, say, oh, it's a terrible stock. Why would you ever buy that? And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's at an all-time low. It sucks. But that's the best time to be buying, when it's at an all-time low, not to be selling or shitting on it. However, it could be a falling knife, and you want to wait to see that there's a bottom. And, AMC is a good example of that, has continued to go down, making new lows. But I just don't like that, uh, using the platform to like shit on people. So I don't follow him anymore. Um, I used to follow Altcoin Daily, but some of their stuff just got too annoying, like pumping too many coins and stuff. Um, and really, the channel that I watch pretty much every single day is Gareth Soloway, and he has a channel, and his name Gareth Soloway, but he also started Verified Investing, and I watch his game plan. It's a 25-minute live stream every morning. I usually watch it during my lunch break at work, and that's, really how I've learned all of this technical analysis, is because of people like Gareth Soloway. And then I started to get into his channel more recently. And that was really because, at the beginning of 2023, I was trading, investing and stuff, but I lost a good amount of money, and was just like needing an escape, from it, a break from it. And then I met this girl who was really cool. We went out for like half a year, and we weren't planning on it being long term, but she kind of broke my heart. And I was trying to get back into YouTube, and this other channel that I was working on that was failing. And through like the breakup, I recognized, man, that channel's failing. I can't get away from, the sad thoughts of not being with this girl. And, my escape is depressing because it's a failing channel. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to do a trading journal for myself. Like, the first couple videos on this channel are really bad. They're just, hardly anybody watched them. And it's just like me kind of sharing some ideas inspired by Dumb Money. I actually went to see that with my girlfriend at the time, but the one who broke my heart. And I was just inspired by that. Like, I could do that. I do videos on like earth science that nobody watches. I could do videos on stocks. I love charting. I love technical analysis, and that could help me to be better at trading. And so I think like last year, there were just so many things going on with the channel failing, me needing to take a break from trading, meeting this girl, breaking up, channel failing, and then turning to YouTube in a different way. And yeah, I love it. And it's so exciting. Like, if you watch the Polestar and Lucid video from this weekend, like, I'm just so excited about how that chart turned out. I've got some really nice comments on the Nikola video, and I just think that ran up over the past week, which I thought it would do. And so yeah, I mean, but I feel like I'm at the point where I'm like 50-50. I don't make all good calls. Most of them, it's 50-50. With that, I try to warn of the, if there is an upside target, I also try to warn of the downside potential. And yeah, I mean, I'm learning as I go. So it makes me feel really good that you appreciate this, that I stand out as doing all right. 'Cause yeah, I go to work in the day, and then when I come home, I just try to make more videos. Um, and yeah, this is I hopefully this becomes my full-time job by the end of the year, but I think it'll probably be 2025, hopefully by then. Are you live on Rumble right now too? No, I just do YouTube. I've only really learned YouTube. I don't know how to do Rumble. But maybe that's something for me to explore, to do both of them. And so yeah, maybe I could look into Rumble. But I found that like when trying to grow something, you got to put all of your effort into it. And so like people have I've tried. I did a short for this channel, but I get nervous when the clock's ticking. And I just speak poorly and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I could do some shorts, but I'm just trying to focus my energy on having time in my schedule to be able to do live streams and have energy for it. And then also be making videos on tickers kind of routinely so I can then be learning from my mistakes, learning from my successes, and then also taking suggestions from people. And so, yeah, I mean, I've just been focusing on it with YouTube. And then also like, I don't really post much on Twitter because it takes so much energy to be thinking of stuff there. But I basically just post links to YouTube videos and then try to include a comment on them. But yeah, I'm blown away by how fast this is growing, and it's really interesting too. Like each month, the number of watch hours doubles from the previous month. Over the past few months, it's been doing that, and so. The growth is kind of scary. I'm kind of intimidated by it, but I do the videos all the time, so it's casual. Uh, yeah, you're welcome. More money. I forget what you were asking about because I got what take on Lucid? Yeah, yeah. I'd check out that video because it probably takes away the main pointers, but also if I'm just looking at the chart and rambling about it, you probably got a full perspective from this stream. But yeah, and I've been doing this for this stream has gone on for over an hour and 17 minutes, and I might try to take some clips from it, maybe in the morning or maybe tomorrow, and put them out as videos just to see if new tickers, get them on the channel. And so I might try to do that, and I've got to fold some laundry and stuff before crashing. I get up to pretty early for work, so can't be up too much later. But yeah, I guess if I'm closing this, cheers to the two of you, or maybe there's more watching this right now. 3 people. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to Sunday. And so I will be doing another live stream, 2 more during this week. One for the last hour of trading on Wednesday. I'm going to take off work a little bit early, and happy to do that stream until whenever it dies down. That's the last trading day of the month, so it'll be really cool to see what the monthly candles look like after the bell closes. And then I'm going to do Thursday night stream, so that's 9 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, cheers to all of you guys. Thanks for joining and for all of the great comments and requests. And I have to say, if whenever I take a sip of a carbonated beverage and you hear me drink it, if it's being recorded, I apologize for that. Because I don't know if it's like I hear the noises inside my body or if I'm hearing them in my ears. So I apologize. But yeah, I am, as I usually close out videos and streams, I'm going to throw this up just in case you haven't liked it. Make sure you do. Always share your thoughts, whether in the live chat or the comments. That's what this channel is about, sharing ideas, sharing our thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more streams like this, doing at least 2 every week now. And I'm probably going to shift my work schedule so I can do a market stream, at least for an hour when the market's open, once a week, or maybe once every other week. And trying to crank out as many videos each day. Ideally, at least 3 per day, but it's going to range between 1 and 6, I think, is the reality. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. It's been fun, and yeah, I'm going to look forward to editing this and putting some clips out there for others to enjoy. But yeah, thanks a lot. Good night, guys, and have a great start to the week. I'll see you Wednesday for the last hour of trading for closing the month and in the other videos I put out. Yeah, so thanks a lot for joining. Take care, you guys.